Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. I've been busy making these pieces of ephemera from a 12 by 12 paper pad, and I just kind of got carried away just creating. I used some tags from Chapter 1 papers to decorate the front of mine. I used some crinkled seam binding from my scrap cabin shop. I have a link to her shop down below with a coupon, guys. I have some lace just for a little decoration, and I have some flat back pearls up here. This little piece of ephemera holds 4 journaling cards. Now you could actually put in some more tuck spots if you wanted. Let's open it up. I took my seam binding and I placed 2 little pearls on the end, and opening it up, there's our tag here, and open it up, and this is where you can either leave it for journaling, or you could take some pieces of ephemera and you could make another pocket there. You could even take some of those seed packets. So here's a nice beautiful seed packet from Chapter 1 papers, and a piece of paper here. Mine happens to be a label from Chapter 1 papers, and you could glue this down and glue it onto the seed pocket and then use it for a flip. And you could put a flip, you could put a seed pocket flip. I think that would be really cute. And then of course that would be another tuck spot. There are so many different things you could do in here. You could put a flip page in here, like sheets of paper stacked up, maybe 2 or 3, and staple it in or glue it right here, and you can have a paper pad. So I've just left that up to you to decide how you're going to decorate the inside of yours. I am going to show you how I put this together with my paper pad. Paper out of my paper pad. There is no waste, so it is a one-sheet wonder. I selected this page right here, and this page is out of this paper pad. Now, I've had this paper pad a very long time. The Paper Studio Distressed Floral. It is cardstock. Now you could make this out of regular copy weight paper, like nothing hard like this or firm, but I went ahead and I made it out of a cardstock, and it turned out just fine. So let me set these over here to the side, and we want to take our 12 by 12 piece of paper and let's fold it in half. So folding it in half, something like this. Getting my bone folder, creasing it. And then what I want to do is I'm going to fold it in half again. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to put this on the end, and so I'm going to find 6 inches. That's the middle, because it's a 12 by 12 paper pad. So making sure everything is lined up straight, as straight as I can get it. And then I'm going to take this end and I'm going to fold it right up to this 6-inch mark. And I'm using my ruler just to help me make it stop, basically, so I can have something to place the end of my paper up to. And I'm going to fold it just like that and give it a nice crease. Now you can't see a thing because it's white on white. There we go. Kind of see it a little better. Let me highlight it a little more. There we go. Now we're going to take this end and we're going to place it up against this end right here. So folding it like this and giving it a nice crease, just like that. Then I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to fold it in half this way. because I'm going to need to trim this a little bit. So I can't fold it this way because I've got some overlapping. So I'm going to fold it this way and make these two folds together like this. Give it a crease. Creasing it all the way around. Alrighty. Now, as you can see, I've got some overlay right there. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark just like that. And then over here, this one's not bad at all. That one's pretty good. But this one needs to be trimmed up a bit. So let's trim it this way first and see. I'm worried that that's not straight, that it's going to be crooked. No, it's going to be straight if I trim it. Okay, so trimming this. Alrighty, now how are we doing? I think we might need to, I don't know, it's pretty close. Trim it maybe a little bit right there. And how are we doing on this end? Okay, not bad. We're going to open it all the way up, you guys. Well, actually, I'm going to open it up to here. Now, I did this a couple different ways. I opened it completely up, and I tried cutting along this fold line. And what I got was, one side had part of that fold, and the other side didn't. So it didn't work out very well for me. So the way that I found that it worked for me best was to fold it and barely cut this fold off. And when I get to this folded top right here, I just kind of veered off. Let me show you what I mean. I'm barely cutting, let's get this off of here. I'm barely cutting my paper like this all the way to this fold, and now I'm going to veer off like that. So you can see I didn't cut that much off, just a little bit. We open it up. It looks like this. Now I also tried this different ways. I tried folding this different ways, but the way it worked for me best was to fold it like this. Now let me make sure. Yeah, that's correct. So what I did was, here's the M, or the W, I should say. It's like this. So I put the two plain sides together, and then I just pushed it together like this, and there we have it, just like that. So you've got your pages and you've got the opening on the top. So this is where the pockets come in. All these little openings right here. It's because we have our papers, separated like that. Now, what I want to do is, I'm just looking at this once again and thinking, do I need to trim anything? And I can see that I've actually marked this side with my pencil, and I don't want that showing, so I'm going to just erase it off. And you can see a little bit of white there. So I can trim that. If you run across yours showing a little bit of white, you can trim yours as well. Okay. That looks a little better. Yeah, we have a little bit here, so I'm going to trim that off. And I'll tell you, after making 5, this is number 6, some of them I had to trim more, some of them I didn't have to trim as much. So I don't know, I think it really kind of has to do with your paper pad and how precise of a 12 by 12 it is. And then it's cardstock, so when you fold it, it's gonna not be exactly perfect once you fold it. That's just at least that's what I've run into. Now, some of these I use my corner rounder and I rounded my corners. This one, I did not round its corner. So you can round the corners or not round the corners. It's really up to you. The next thing I want to do is I need to make these into pockets. So this is how it's going to be, because it's going to open up just like this. So I want this to be a pocket, and right now it's open like that. Now we're not going to have to worry about the bottom of this one. We just need to glue down the side. I've got my art glitter glue here, and I'm going to run a bead of glue right down the side here that's open, and then just glue it together. So we've got that part already done. We've got a pocket there. And then we're going to want to glue the back together. Now the back right here, we're going to need to glue the bottom and the side. The bottom and the side. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to need to glue this part together to make a tuck spot right there. So we're going to need to glue these two together as well as the bottom, making sure that you're doing the right end. You want to make sure that this is open, and so you're going to glue the bottom. Got a little carried away there with that glue. Gluing this shut. I hope that this was not too confusing. I almost didn't make this video and choose this style of ephemera because I wasn't sure if it was just a little too, well, confusing. I didn't want to make a confusing piece, but I thought it was such a cool piece that I wanted to show you how to make it. So I need to make sure this gets glued together. And I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more glue down here to glue this bottom together. I don't think I added enough glue. Okay, so now we have the page, and then this page, this is a double page. Now you could take notches out, but I just kind of didn't want to do that. I wanted to make my tags to fit inside my pockets and to leave a little bit so that it's on the top like this, it sticks out a little bit. I was going to put a whale tab or some type of tab up there, and I thought I'll just make my tags long enough that they will fit down inside and stand up like that. Yeah, I think that's really sweet. Well, I've already inked these up, and I made these out of the same paper pad paper. I just selected one of the papers and I cut them. Now this is 2 1/4 by 6, and then I rounded the corners and I inked mine up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this up, and then we're going to decorate it and finish it off. Maybe we'll even put a flip of a seed pocket in. I just think that might be super fun to have a flip in this piece of ephemera. So I've got my sponge right here, and I've got my frayed burlap. That's the color that I'm using. And I'm just going to brush it on, and I'm going to do the inside as well as the outside, and then we'll decorate it up. And I think you'll like the end result. I've inked my piece all up, and I put my tags inside. Now, you might need to twix some of your sizes of your tags. I had to cut this much off of one of my tags because when I glued the bottom down here, it obviously seeped up a little bit more, so I needed to change the size of my tag. So that might happen to you. I want to place some of this really sweet lace right here on the side, but I think first I'd like to glue this tag down from Chapter 1 papers. I'm going to use my art glitter glue to do that. So adding my glue right onto my piece here, and then popping it on, just like that. I just decided to do all of the decorations on these pieces of ephemera very simple, not too elaborate, but I still think they turned out really sweet. Now this piece of lace, I'm going to turn this way. So to hold this closed, I'm going to grab a paper clip and I'm going to clip it closed while I take my hot glue gun, which is a Sure Bonder trademark, high temp. I'm going to place my glue. Now I'm going to turn my lace this way. So I'm going to place my hot glue, and I'm not doing the whole section right away. I'm just doing it in pieces or little sections of this. I'm not putting my glue all the way down because hot glue dries so very quickly. And that's why I use it for videos. It's because it enables me to glue some things down like this lace, and if I would use something like fabric tack, it would take a while to glue, and so then it would be moving on me, and it just makes it easier to do a video using the hot glue. So I'm going to trim the end off just a little bit here. There we go. All right, and now I'm going to take these flat back pearls, and just 3 of them. I think I'm going to pop it right there on that top corner. So getting those down, I'm using the hot glue for that as well. Now, I have got some beautiful crinkled seam bindings from my scrap cabin shop, and this color is Ballerina. What a sweet name. And I'm going to find the end here, and I'm going to place it underneath, and I'm just going to kind of tie it loosely just to see how much of this I'm going to need. Maybe about this amount. I'm just going to try to let it crinkle. Oh, maybe about like there. And what I'm going to do, I'm trying to get that glue off my fingers, I'm going to add these little tiny pearls on the end of the crinkled seam binding. I'm using, it's actually a glass tool to fix your glasses when the screws come loose and you need a screwdriver to fix it. That's what this is. I think I've stuck too much in there. I need to stick my seam binding through my hole of the pearl. Let's get it in there. It wasn't this difficult when I made the other 5, but it never fails. When you're on video, you know, things will go awry. That's just the way it is. And finding the end and then placing a knot right there. I'll trim that off later if I need to. And getting my next one, and I'm going to pop it on. Oh, I almost lost it. Let me do this and then I'll be right back. All right, the reason why I put my pearls on and tied my bow is because I need to now find the center of my little piece of crinkled seam binding. And it's about right here. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to glue this onto the back, adding some glue and then just laying this down right on top. That way you always have your tie for your piece of ephemera. All right, so we already know what it looks like when it's all tied together. Now let's talk about possibly putting a flip in here. So this is my seed pocket, and it's from Chapter 1 Papers. I'm not sure which kit this one came from. Most of their kits have seed pockets, and I think I'd like this one to flip outwards like this. You could have it flip in this direction if you wanted. You could put it on the second page. However you want this to go. I'm going to actually put a little bit of ink on this back side, just a little bit, and I'm going to add just a little bit right here. Okay, and I'm going to take my seed pocket, and I want it to flip outwards like, I want it to flip outwards like this. So that means I need to add my hinge right here. So if I add my hinge like that, and then I can flip it out. So grabbing my art glitter glue again, I'm going to add my glue onto my hinge. I took a label and just folded it in half the long way. I need to put this on the edge a little bit more, not sticking over the edge, but just right on the edge, like that. And then I can add the glue to this side, and then place it where I would like it to go. Now I need to make sure I don't go over the side. And then it just flips out just like that. How cute is that for a nice interactive piece of ephemera? I think that looks wonderful. Now, like I said before, you could put more pockets in there. You could put a flip book in there. I think I might add flip books to all of these little pieces that I have made. I think they are super sweet and a really, really fantastic way to use a 12 by 12 piece of paper and not have any scraps left over. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.